let's do that. That's not quote unquote a bad lead. That is a bad customer opportunity. Somebody that you actually got in touch with, real life conversation, real life human being, and they're in the store on the phone and they realize, oh, this isn't a good fit for me. I don't know. I'm not sure. I almost said I'm unconscious. I'm not sure. I'm not confident. Things like that. That's not technically a bad lead. That's a bad customer opportunity. As in, like, you've already talked to this person. You know they're a real customer opportunity. You know they're a real lead, but it's not going to work for whatever reason. That is not a bad lead. That is a person-to-person conversation. A bad lead is someone doesn't pick up the phone. Someone doesn't remember who you are. Someone doesn't fill out the form correctly. Someone that isn't real. Someone that is a bad phone number. This is actually bad lead because this is not a recognizable human being. And as you go down this list, it goes from like arguable bad lead to like definitely a bad lead. Like if it's a bad phone number, it is 100% a bad lead. If it's someone that isn't real, like it's not the real person, it's not a real individual, you called and you thought it was Alex, but it's really John, that's not a real person, that's still a bad lead, right? Somebody who filled out that form incorrectly as they checked the wrong box, probably not a bad lead, but still kind of have a conversation. Somebody that's like, oh, I don't remember, can you remind me? Somebody doesn't pick up the phone. Like, as you go further down this list, this goes from, you could argue, let's do this. As you go down this list, here we go. You can make the argument and the kind of like transformation from it's good enough to definitely a bad lead. And if you want to have a more specific verbiage and a more specific sentence, this is definitely a fake lead. As in, like, this is not a real phone number, not a real email. Like, this person's not picking up the phone, they did not confirm. It has the feelings of like a spam or a bot or just some dude from Russia having like a good time with your form, right? It moves from like, you could argue this is good enough, it's your fault, massage should have a good time. I know that they said they're not interested, but you and I both know that you got to be a better salesperson, all the way down to this is probably like a fake lead, not real information, stuff like that. And what ends up happening is you don't filter, or let's just say bad leads or fake leads. You tell Facebook to get you as many leads as possible. You make it super easy to fill out and tell Facebook to get the cheapest stuff. This is kind of like what you're telling Facebook. Like 9 times out of 10, this is the instructions you're giving Facebook or your marketing campaign or something like that. And then you end up with effectively what you got, which is like bad leads or fake leads. And then you have to go through all this like filtering and sorting. And you're like, it's somewhere in here, you're like, you know, we got like 100 leads, let's just hope 10 are good. You end up with like that scenario, which is maybe arguably okay for internet marketing people, but not okay for business people. And this is at the core, the difference between the two cultures and why you're always at this like weird combative nature. So this over here is, let's just say, the internet marketer over here. And this over here is the local business owner. The internet marketer wants super cheap leads. The internet marketer knows less friction, the better. The internet marketer wants headlines that get clicks, and the internet marketer wants as many people as possible. The internet marketer also knows that we can spend $5,000, get 5,000 leads, and maybe 2 will buy the $5,000 product. And we're good. This, at the core, is what internet marketers want, what they think, what they feel, things along those lines. What the local business owner wants is people on the phone that are somewhat qualified. Friction is fine. They need to be qualified before talking to me. I want fewer people, but higher quality. Here we go. People, but higher quality. We can spend $5,000, but I have a cost to servicing each lead, even if they don't buy. And then 4,998 time wasters hurts more than 2 $5,000 sales. This is like local business owner. This is what goes on in their head. And this is why there's an inherent conflict. This is why most local business owners have super large frustrations and challenges with most internet marketers. Because internet marketers want an F ton of leads. They can shove them in their billboard, be like, yo, I'm getting like 50-cent leads, dollar leads, $1.29 leads. And like all of a sudden they're at the top, like when an investment bank like lands a deal, they're like, oh, look how great we are. It's amazing. And they're looking at dollars in, dollars out, and there's not a cost of servicing an email list of 5,000 people. It's totally fine. But a local business owner is like, look, I don't want to be on the phone with all of these people. It's fine if I say they have to fill out a form. Like when you go to a doctor's office, they're like, wait in the chair and fill out the form. Call our office, talk to us first. Internet marketers don't run it like that. Just bring as many people as you can, just in. Because we don't have a cost to getting views. Like we can have 1,000 views on our website every single day. It's no big deal. But imagine 1,000 people coming into our client's business. They freak out. Most small businesses are like, I don't want an F ton of people. I can't handle an F ton of people. If I've got like 10 people in my shop at once or 20 people shop at once, I have a cost of servicing those clients. I'm freaking out. The staff is asking questions. And actually, most small businesses have a friction-based growth to their journey, as they can only grow so much before they have to change, and then so much before they have to change. It's like this weird step format, not so much this rocket ship format. When an internet marketer gets a sale, job is done. Most local businesses have to work before, during, and after a sale. And this is the inherent cause of conflict. The conflict. Make this bigger and see if this turns out the way I want. Conflict. Can we turn it? Oh, here we go. Is this gonna work? Maybe. 90. Cool. So this is the conflict. This is that middle space. This is why internet marketers and local business owners always have so much frustrations and fear and difficulty, because our lines of business are just different. And I will tell you that the more you can adapt your line of thinking to how a local business owner thinks and feels and acts, the less of a conflict there will be. And this is how you can adjust. And this is how I'm actually going to be pitching my services now to deal with the quote unquote bad leads or fake leads, because it always comes up. And most of the time, our best response is going, yeah, it's going to be bad leads, and you're going to have to deal with them or cancel them out or no shows or something like that. But that doesn't work, and that's an easy thing for us, but it's hard for a client because they're going, oh, another fake lead, another bad opportunity. Here's what happens. We will run an ad and get a bunch of views. This is where it is right here. Like this. And then out of this, let's just say, run ad against a bunch of views, run an ad and get a bunch of clicks, just like this. And then we'll get some form fills. like this. And then those form fills will go into a database. And then hopefully what happens is a phone call and a walk-in. This is what's supposed to happen. And then that database is the selling point. Here's your CRM, have a good time. And so the business owner tells our front desk, go down the lead column, and then all of a sudden the feedback from that front desk is all of these leads are bad. And all of a sudden how valuable that database was, they're like, oh my God, this is so great, this is so cool, it's gonna be amazing. All of a sudden this like huge value of a database is all of a sudden worth less and less and less and less. And all of a sudden this guy goes, these leads are no good, everything is bad. Like just, you're not gonna have a good time at all whatsoever. And so what we're gonna be testing out now is changing this step right here. We're going to be changing this step. And you could make an argument of saying, what about a quiz funnel? You know, no fake person is gonna fill out 10 questions. And I go, yes, they will, okay? You could say, but what about an appointment setting team? Okay, so now you're incurring the cost of calling back old leads, right? Instead of having a huge database where I know that half of them are fake numbers and then filtering from there, I'm not even gonna let a bad lead into my database. I only want people that have confirmed, verified, gotten a confirmation text, and then filled out the form. I don't want this right here, the phone call or walk-in step affected at all. I want these areas right here. I actually want to squeeze this and have it become the bottleneck. I want to have a funnel that looks like this. If they filled out a form, I want them to be on that database and then be darn good. If they filled out the form and on the database, I want to be a darn good chance that they're going to phone call and walk in. I don't want to have this funnel where I've got 20,000 people on my email list, knowing that 75% of them ain't going to open it. I want 5,000 people on my email list knowing every single person is going to open it. And as it turns out, the easiest way to do that is to squeeze that form fill step. So here's what we're doing. And I believe that this properly represents the local business owner mindset and not so much the internet marketing mindset. Here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have the normal ad. I've not changed this. It's the same for every client. Call out, here's the thing, do you want it? That's it, end of discussion. What we used to do is this right here. Where is it? Add to, let's just say, landing page. And then the landing page had name, number, email. This is what we used to do. It worked. It was fine, not that big of a deal. And then Facebook was like, hey, you know what? Let's do Facebook forms with name, number, and email. This is what it is now. This is what we're doing. And it's fine. Like you can increase the quality and have a mini quiz funnel inside of it. And then you can make it so that they can't like automatically fill out the form where they have to like manually type it. Okay, fine, you can do that too. But ladies and gents, here's what we're doing. And I genuinely believe that this properly represents the frustrations of a local business owner and having a list that is active and responsive. And when that front desk is calling the leads, that they actually pick up the phone and they're real phone numbers. This is what we will be doing. Add to a quiz. Oh, Jeff, big fucking whoop, right? Look, work with me here, okay? It's not just like a normal quiz that people can like fill out the form. This quiz is gated. Like you cannot even take the quiz unless you have verified, responded to a text message. When I first saw this, it gave me such pause to not pretend to fill out the form, to not funnel hack, to not dick around on the internet and just see what's going on. I was like, wow, like someone's gonna text me and I gotta fill out that form. And I was like, wow, that's a big filtering. And then if you set it up correctly, you can actually set it up so that you can verify and respond to an email. I was like, wow, that's a lot. They're literally verifying that you are a real person by text message and by email. I was like, okay, what does this mean? Again, this is when I was like dicking around on the internet and seeing what's going on there. When somebody filled out this form, or was going to fill out this form, all of a sudden, not only did I take it a lot more seriously, it caused just enough pause so that I started to read the entire thing, respond to the verified text, respond to the verified email, and when I got a callback, I treated it correctly. This experience for me on someone on the receiving end of this step, I was like, wow, look at that. It's serious. It's not just the internet stuff. Like, I got to do my thing. It broke me out of the like internet zombie feeling that most people have, that like weird addiction thing. Like, okay, cool. It's serious. Add, verify your text, verify your email, and then you take a quiz. And then they will call you back. Or then a phone call. And this could be a phone call that I initiate or that team initiates. And I was like, this is like really impactful. Mostly because it forces me to pause, think, read the entire thing, remember, and filter out accordingly. Simply having that verification before the quiz, not after, but before, all of a sudden filtered so the funnel looks like this. Views, clicks, and then the form fill was the squeeze. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts the person that had this and did it to me has a database that has 75%, 90% success rate. As in the text message goes through, they're not fake phone numbers, they're not fake emails, and people are picking up the phone. That's what I genuinely believe. It keeps the list small, people are happy, and more importantly, it reflects the needs, wants, fears, and goals of the local business owner. Because they're like, look, I don't want to have 5,000 people on my email list. I only want to have 1,000 people that respond. They have a cost to having a big list, not just dollars, but managerial capacity. They're totally fine with like friction. In fact, by the way, when I sold this, I was like, look, Mr. Johnson, I know what you don't want. I know you don't want a whole bunch of fake people on the list. That's what happened to your other guy, right? He's like, yeah, man. He said we had like 5,000 people and we would send out an email and nobody would respond. I would call these people they don't know. I would send out a text message, nobody would respond. I'll tell you what, Mr. Johnson, what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna make sure that every single person that wants to fill out the form, we actually force them to verify their text message the same way you have to do it with your bank and your phone number through Facebook or LinkedIn. We're gonna send them a text, they have to reply. Yeah, they have to type in that code. All of a sudden, if they don't want to play ball, that's enough to stop most fake people really fast. Yeah. And then what I don't want for you, Mr. Johnson, is when you send a big email, you get a whole bunch of bounce backs and bad emails. You don't like that, right? Like your staff tells you the emails are bad. It's not a good time, right? And he goes, yeah, I don't like that. I said, what we're going to do is like, if people want to give their email, we're going to force them to go to their email, get a code and come back to it. And then we're going to ask them 5 to 10 qualifying questions before they even get your phone number. If they don't pass these 5 to 10 qualifying questions, disqualified. We keep their information if we want it, but we say, hey, sorry, you do not qualify at this time. And only after somebody lives in your serviceable zone, saw the ad, clicked on it, typed in their name, number, email, saw the ad, clicked on it, clicked on the quiz, verified their text message, verified their email, answered 5 to 10 questions, only then do they get to actually talk to you on the phone. Yeah. And then we phrase it in a certain way. It's see if you qualify. And that means that your front desk, for whatever reason, be like, I'm sorry, sir, you do not qualify. Just like that. Now, this may, quote unquote, increase your cost per lead, which means me as a Facebook marketer can't brag about your cost per lead. But honestly, we don't want 1,000 people or 5,000 people or 10,000 people on this list. We want 1,000 people or 2,000 or 3,000 people with like verified information. So when you call them, they pick up, right? And he goes, yeah. So that's what we're going to do for you. By the way, for everybody watching, this is literally the demo I did to get somebody to pay me $1,500 in 48 hours. Yeah, we can do this for you. It costs money. We're going to build it out. Here's an invoice. Paid $1,500 48 hours later. This is the build out. Yeah, not including the monthly management. The dollars I got paid were a function of me understanding his pain, identifying a plan, and getting it done. I didn't show him any ads. I didn't show him any tech. I didn't show him the jot form or the quiz funnel. He doesn't give a shit. His biggest problems, time and time again, were that internet marketers are using this line of thinking right here on the left. Super cheap leads, blah, blah, blah. You know, like if you get $2,000, $5,000 sales, doesn't make this campaign ROI profitable. Isn't that what you want? And most times, most local businesses will say that they want that, but their actions don't line up for it. Everybody tell me if I'm wrong here. You can deliver an ROI on a campaign and they will still cancel. That's what happens. You can deliver an ROI on a campaign and they will still cancel. It's because they want this. They want people on the phone that have already filled out the form that are somewhat qualified. When I tell these clients, hey, we're going to have a lot of friction on this form, and if somebody can't fill out the form, they're not worth coming in. Isn't that right? And they go, yeah. Just like that. By the way, for our like real agency, we're now testing out paid appointments where you have to pay before they schedule an appointment. And all of our clients are like, fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah. And then we say, Mr. Johnson, when they're on the phone with you, these are not going to be like, hey, I just saw the form, I'm curious. These are going to be people that like submitted all the information. And if they pass that test, they're somewhat qualified, right? This means you have fewer people, higher quality, but that's what you want. Just like that. It's this type of like line of thinking and wording and verbiage that makes it super easy to get a $1,500 sale. It took me probably like 3 hours to build this out. That's $500 an hour. He's going to be super happy. I didn't even show him anything. He's like, here's money. Just like that. The ad, by the way, I just went to Facebook Ads app library, looked at this competition and built something similar. That's it. The text message and the email response rate verifying thing, it's just jot form. That's it. Have a Twilio integration. Took way too long for me to figure it out. And I did a test run inside my paid program, and then Twilio broke, but whatever, it still worked anyway. Where like they click on it, they fill out the form, and says, what's your best phone number? We will send a verification text. Fill it out. What's your email? We will send a verification email. Fill it out. And asking 5 to 10 qualifying questions. All I did was look up what the competition is asking, then ask my client, do you have additional 2-3 questions? I got 70, 90% of the way without even asking him for anything. Then the phone call is a call real number. That's it. And now I can be confident saying we now have a system that makes it very, 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 very difficult, and we introduce a whole lot of friction with a future client and customer so they are not wasting their time. Maybe one person fills out the form, does it wrong, and wastes your time. I hear you. It could happen. But it's not a function of design. Somebody's going to have to fight through that, which means that the vast majority of people who get through have already answered all those questions, verified, and when they call you or you call them, they're better at their job. Because Mr. Johnson, what you don't want is an internet marketing funnel. What you want is a marketing program for a local business. This is the conflict right here. And this is what most people are leaving on the table. They think this sentence right here is good. Most local businesses are going, wait, if only 2 of these leads are good, then why did we spend all the money getting the other leads? Why didn't we just get those 2 leads? That's what people think, which is incorrect, but fine, whatever. That's what most people think, especially most local small businesses. Not like these multi-location franchises that are business owner that happens to be in a type of business. I mean, most local businesses. And the people that I deal with are in the medical space. They have a small staff, small office. They hate this. This is like their worst scenario. They hate these conversations. They would much rather not have time wasters or tire kickers. We want friction. We want qualification. Okay. Let's do it. And now we're in a position to do so. This stack, by the way, those ads, like I mentioned before, I made them in Canva. It took me like an hour because I'm bad at my job, but I did it anyway. For James, who's asking, this text and emails, just JotForm with the Twilio integration. It took an hour or two to bug out through it and pay my account like 5 times and then ask for a refund, and then it worked. The quiz funnel, by the way, was just me looking up the competition, seeing the questions that they ask, questions that I think are good enough, and asking my client, do you have additional 2 or 3 questions? That's it. And then the phone call is a call rail tracking number. So this whole thing is Canva, which is free, Twilio, which is like $20 for like ever, like 3 months or something like that. JotForm, which is $25 a month, CallRail, which is $30 a month. So this whole blueprint is $100 a month, which makes my $1,500 a month client very fucking happy. And when business owners get together and brag to each other, they're bragging about this stuff on the right. Hey, my marketing guy, when people call me, they're super qualified. We put them through the ringer before they even get into the shop. And we spent $5,000, but you know what? Or we don't spend $5,000 because I have a cost of servicing these like leads and all that. Like I don't want them wasting my front desk time. So we don't have that like time wasters. Why? What do you guys do? Oh, my Facebook ads marketer tells me like our cost per lead is really low and we're generating a whole bunch of no-shows and like the phone calls are like kind of bad. And what's your guy's name? What's his name? That type of stuff. So it's a very, very easy way of me building up great reputation really fast. And the cool part is that with this client in particular, he goes, you know what, Jeff? I like this really well. I like this a lot. It's going pretty well just from the blueprint side. And you've done enough competitive research to know about alternative products and services. So when I called him, I was like, is this your direct competitor? And he goes, give me a call. And we talk on the phone. He's like, that's actually not my direct competition, but it is a substitute product, which is an economic word for if somebody's buying a thing, they can go to me or the other guy. If I'm buying paper towels versus washcloth, it's a substitute. It solves the same problem. Like you can buy a Honda Civic and a Toyota Camry. They are substitutes for each other. They also direct competitors, but maybe they have better examples like a sofa and a chair, right? Substitute products. And we were talking on the phone and he's like, you know what? It's smart. I like it. And if this works, we actually have 15 other locations. I was like, I had no idea. So in 2 or 3 months, this $1,500 a month deal could turn into a $10,000 or $50,000 or $20,000 a month deal, based entirely on the fact that we deliver qualified, FN frictioned phone calls and the database responds. Frictioned phone calls. At the core, most small businesses do not want a huge database. They just want people that they can talk on the phone or someone qualified. That's it. And if you are the internet marketer that knows, likes, and understands this right here and pays less attention to the people you compete with and more attention to your future clients and customers, you're going to be winning really darn fast. Really, really fast. And for everybody watching this, I want to issue a very specific challenge. Can you build this? Well, there you go. Can you build this? Like, is it really that hard from the tech side? Not saying it's going to work, not saying it's amazing, but I mean, can you build it? Can you create an ad? Yes, you can. Can you do a jot form that verifies text and email? Yes, you can. Can you do a quiz? Can you shove it to a Google Sheet? And can you have a call reel number at the end? If you can do that, now you can talk to future clients and customers and say like, hey, I know you hate having an F ton of unqualified leads. What if I put every single lead through the ringer where they had to answer 5 to 10 questions, verify their phone number, verify their email, and do all that before they even talk to you? And you get to pick the questions. Would that work? Cool. I need to build this out. I got to charge you for it. What do you say we try this out on Monday? Could you put some dollars of your ad budget into there after you pay me to build it out? If it works, we'll take it from there. That's all you have to say, guys. That's it. You can call it your qualified effing efficient phone call and database program. And now you've got more $1,500 a month clients.